All right, let's dive into a philosophy that is all about radical self-reliance. That relentless pursuit of your potential. People call it the grind. And honestly, its core message is incredibly simple, but actually doing it, that might just be one of the hardest things you'll ever attempt.
So everything really kicks off with this one central question. What if your biggest opponent is you? This one idea completely reframes how we think about competition. It says, hey, the biggest fight you'll ever have, it isn't against that person next to you or the market or your circumstances. Nope, it's all happening inside. That's right. It's you against you. Every single day, the real battle is between who you are right now and the person you have the potential to become. It's all about smashing through those quiet little limits you've set for yourself.
Okay, now this next part, it sounds harsh, but stick with me because it's actually meant to be incredibly liberating. The idea here is that just waiting around for someone to pat you on the back or feel sorry for you is a total waste of time. Your journey, your struggles, your wins, they belong to you and you alone. And to really round out this opening salvo, there's no cavalry coming. There's no magic pill, no hero riding in to save the day. If you want to change your life, if you want to get the work done, that responsibility, it rests completely, and I mean completely, on your shoulders. All right, so if the main event is you versus you, what or who are you actually fighting? Let's break down who that enemy in the mirror really is, according to this philosophy.
See, the enemy isn't some other guy. It's these things, right here. It's that pull toward softness, toward what's comfortable. It's all the distractions that are constantly screaming for your attention. It's procrastination. It's that deep, primal desire for comfort and that crippling fear of failure. And maybe worst of all, it's that little voice in your head that whispers, or even screams, just quit when things get tough. Beating these things, that's the whole game.
So how in the world do you fight that battle? Well, it all starts with a huge shift in your mindset. Let's really dig into the difference between how most people think and the mentality of that top 1%.
I mean, look at this contrast right here. On one side, you have people who do a little bit of work and then wonder why they're not winning. And on the other, you have winners who work as hard as they possibly can, and they still worry they're being lazy. The gap isn't just about the amount of work. It's about the internal standard. It's that nagging feeling that you could always be doing more. And this really gets to the heart of it. A winner does more than what's expected, every single time, and it doesn't matter how they feel. Your feelings, they're completely irrelevant to the job. Tired, uninspired, on top of the world, who cares? The standard doesn't change. You show up, and you deliver. But look, a mindset is great, but it's nothing without the tools to actually back it up. And this whole philosophy is really built on one single powerful tool, discipline. And that discipline is forged in the fire of intentional hardship. You see, here's the difference. Motivation, it's a feeling. It comes and goes. It's awesome when it's there, but you can't rely on it. Discipline, on the other hand, that's a system. It's a commitment you make that just steamrolls right over your mood for the day. And this part is key. It's about doing the stuff you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. That's where consistency comes from. Think about it like this. Life is absolutely going to hit you with challenges you did not ask for. That's unchosen suffering. It's a guarantee. So how do you prepare for it? Well, the only way is to voluntarily put yourself through hardship now. You choose to suffer a little bit today, on your own terms, so that you can handle whatever life throws at you tomorrow. Okay, so what does this actually look like day to day? It's a pretty simple, repeatable process for building that mental armor. Step 1, do stuff that sucks every single day. Step 2, just keep repeating those things you don't want to do. And then, when you hit that wall, when you feel completely exhausted, you ask yourself one simple question. Can I take just one more step? And here's the secret. The answer is almost always yes. And then, you take that step. Now, it's so important to get this next part. This kind of effort, it does not pay off overnight. The whole philosophy is built on this foundation of an almost fanatical commitment to playing the long game. We're talking decades, not days. I mean, just look at this timeline. It's brutal, but it's honest. After a month, all the people who doubted you, they'll be right. You won't have hit it big. After a year, yep, they're probably still right. But after a decade, that's when you get to prove they were wrong. The whole difference is your time horizon. They're thinking in days and weeks, you have to be thinking in decades. This idea completely flips the script on failure. See, failure isn't an accident. It's not a detour from the path. It is the path.
The journey is literally just failing and failing and failing some more. And then eventually you win. That's not a bug in the system. That is the system.
And this is such a sobering reality check. When you look at the grind, the actual feeling of winning is this tiny little sliver, maybe 1% of the time. The vast majority of the time, you're going to feel like you're failing, or treading water, or you're just about to tap out. And you know what? Understanding that and accepting it is the key to not giving up when it inevitably feels that way. So the goal isn't to live in that 1%. That's impossible. The goal is to endure all the rest of it, the other 99%, just to earn those tiny moments of victory. And then you take those little 1% wins and you stack them, one on top of another, day after day, year after year. And eventually, after a decade, you look back and realize you've built something incredible.
So where does all of this leave us? We've talked about the enemy in the mirror, the winner's mindset, the discipline of suffering, but it all really boils down to one final, very personal choice. It's always about your next move.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Life is going to hit you, and it's going to hit you hard. That part's a guarantee. The only thing that really defines you, the only thing that matters in the end, is how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
And in the end, it all comes back to action. You can wish for a different life all you want, but it's meaningless without changing what you actually do every day. Your habits, your discipline, that's who you are, because you are what you repeatedly do.
And so that leaves us with just one final question. The truth is, you have the ability to make these choices. You can study, you can grow, you can build, you can become unbelievably powerful. This whole way of thinking argues that greatness isn't reserved for some special chosen few. It's for anyone who is willing to relentlessly and persistently pursue it. So, the only question that's really left to answer is, why not you?